A very good evening. Welcome to Champions League Live tonight as we conclude the quarter-finals of the Champions League. Two semi-finalists already confirmed. PSG, the reigning European champions, and Atletico Madrid progressed from their respective quarter-finals second legs last night. Atleti being beaten on the night by Barcelona, but doing just enough on aggregate to see them through to the semi-finals, and PSG winning at Anfield by 2-0 to knock out Liverpool. That was last night. Tonight, though, Arsenal take centre stage at the Emirates as they take on a Portuguese side, Sporting, at the Emirates with a 1-goal advantage on aggregate heading into this one. Kai Havertz's late winner last week means Arsenal are in front, and with that advantage to take home with them. And speaking of advantages to take back home, Bayern Munich are leading Real Madrid 2-1 from the first leg last week to take back to the Allianz Arena. That is also this evening. And of course, we will find out the two semi-finals a little later on. Of course, both of these two matches tonight, the winners of each will be on opposite sides of the draw. So there is a scenario where they could meet in the final on the 30th of May. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit there. A quick look at the bracket. So the winner of tonight's game between Sporting and Arsenal will play Atletico Madrid in the semi-finals. And the reigning European champions will either be host to Real Madrid or Bayern Munich in the semi-finals to come in 2 weeks' time. Looking forward to that whenever it comes around. And of course, what we do know is that PSG, I believe that semi-final will play on the Tuesday in the first leg, and Arsenal will play their first leg 2 weeks tonight, which would be the 29th of April, Wednesday night. That is what we've been informed of. But of course, it's a lot of talk coming into this one. Arsenal looking to reach back-to-back Champions League semi-finals for the first time in their history. For Sporting, they're looking to reach their first European semi-final since the Europa League back in 2011-12. Have never reached the Champions League semi-finals as it currently is known, this competition. And it is the first meeting between these two at the Emirates since Sporting knocked Arsenal out of the Europa League round of 16 on penalties back in 2023. How far Arsenal have come since then, and what a full circle moment it could be tonight. And of course, Kai Havertz's late winner last week secured a 1-0 aggregate lead for the Gunners to take to this one tonight. But they were knocked out in the semi-finals last year, Arsenal. But will they get back there for another chance and another crack at it? Of course, the reigning European champions, PSG, were the ones to knock them out last season, en route to lifting the trophy at the end of May. Bayern Munich have knocked Arsenal out before the season prior to that, so they've been knocked out at either this stage or the semi-finals in the last 2 seasons. But of course, it was the furthest they've got in this stage since the 2009-10 season. Barca knocked them out in the quarter-finals. United knocked them out back in 08-09 in the semi-finals, and Liverpool did the same at the quarter-final stage in 07-08. So not recent good history for Arsenal in quarters or semis in the Champions League, but can tonight be different? A Sporting side who they feel they should on paper beat and already have a 1-goal lead, but it wasn't that easy in Lisbon last week, and it won't be that easy tonight. An Arsenal side have lost 3 of the last 4 games in all competitions. The Sporting victory last week was their only win in their last 4, so a need of a turnaround in form for Arsenal towards the end of this season Will it be another English exit from the Champions League, or will Arsenal be able to get the job done and head back to the Final Four in this competition for the second season running? As the players enter from the tunnel, let's have a look at the two teams. Starting with Arsenal, David Raya starts in goal. The back four of Christian Mosquera, William Saliba, Gabriel and Piero Nkapie. Martin Zubamendi and Declan Rice as the captain are in midfield, with Ebere Eze further forward. Madueke and Martinelli are the wingers, with Victor Gyökeres leading the line. On the bench for Arsenal, Kepa, Setford, White, Lewis Skelly, Salmon, Norgard, Dauman, Dudziak, Jesus, Trossard, and of course last week's hero, Kai Havertz. He is on the bench tonight. Well, for Sporting, they start with Rui Silva in goal, a back four of Quaresma, Diomande, Inacio and Araujo. Hjulmand is alongside Morita in midfield. Hjulmand the captain. Francisco Trincao, their top scorer in the Champions League this season, he's in the 10. Wingers of Gatoma and Goncalves, and Luis Javier Suarez leads the line. On the bench for the Portuguese outfit, Virginia, De Bast, Vagianides, Mangas, Quenda, Kosherashvili, Faye Branquenta, Simoes, Blopa, Nel and Flavio Goncalves on the bench. Huge game then tonight. Two huge games, you gotta say, across Europe. One at the Allianz Arena, one at the Emirates Stadium. Who will be heading through and joining Atletico and PSG in the semi-finals? Kick-off at the Emirates between Arsenal and Sporting, and in Munich as well between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, is next. A very good evening. Thank you very much for joining us as we conclude the Champions League's quarter-finals with a huge game at the Emirates. Arsenal, as I said, looking to get to back-to-back Champions League semi-finals. And the tifo that was being held up at the clock end here at the Emirates said history is in our sights. It would be history for Arsenal. And of course, never won this competition, but if there's ever a season where they look to be one of the favourites, it would be this season. Of course, the other side of the draw is arguably the more difficult side of the draw. Really, save the best for last, really. Arsenal will be thinking. A big trip against Atletico Madrid in 2 weeks' time is what awaits the winners tonight. And of course, Arsenal, with that opportunity, they will have, of course, the second leg of the semi-final at home, which is a guarantee, which is another massive benefit of doing so well in the league phase. Only them and Bayern Munich will have that right if they were to progress to those stages, as North London Forever rings around this stadium. A newly acclaimed anthem that has swept across the Emirates and across the Arsenal fan base over the last 2 years. They're on the brink of trophy success in the league and possibly the Champions League. But this will not be an easy task for the Gunners tonight. A Sporting side who've caused them problems before and might just do it again as we get underway at the Emirates to kick off another night of incredible Champions League action. This is where it all gets really serious. About managing the game and getting the job done. That's all that matters really tonight for Arsenal. Get over the line. After being knocked out of a couple of competitions in the last few games. Beaten in the Carabao Cup final, beaten in the FA Cup quarter final. Lost in the league at the weekend means the issue of them possibly bottling the season has been rung around. Mikel Arteta, actually in his pre-match press conference, seemed a little bit mad this week. He's talking absolute nonsense half the time. Many making fun of him, as per usual. The usual memes on online has said some peculiar things over the last few days, Mikel Arteta. This is a huge moment for Arsenal, a huge night in their recent club history. That's a lovely challenge there, and now Eze's away here for the Gunners. Eze to Gyökeres, trying to square it across. Well cleared there at the back. Ultimately, Sporting bailed out of trouble there a bit. Arsenal were away and Eze was in a glorious position. The energy and the noise inside the Emirates. It's palpable what's on the cards for the Gunners tonight. There's a free kick here. Gabriel Martinelli brought down. By the way, our referee Francois Letessier from France is our referee this evening. Well, we talk about differences in form. As I said, Arsenal, 3 out of the last 4 games they've lost. Sporting, quite the opposite. 4 out of the last 5 they've won. In their first leg meeting, the only outlier in both teams' recent records. Rice goes short. Out wide, Martinelli's delivery. Cleared away well. Goncalves with the clearance. Picked up again though by Eze. Again trying to prod it into the middle, but again the Sporting defence holds out and now they want to spring away. Although Luis Javier Suarez couldn't keep a hold of the ball there. Wanted a foul, but wasn't going to get it for that. Was eased over, to say the very least. We have a huge goal to tell you about at the Allianz Arena this evening. Bayern Munich taking a 1-goal lead against Real Madrid into this game tonight. A 2-1 aggregate lead. Well, that aggregate lead on the night hasn't lasted too long because Arda Güler has given Real Madrid the opener on the night. Inside the first minute, Real Madrid have taken the lead on the night, which has them level on aggregate at 2-2. So it's all to play for in Munich. And Real Madrid 1 up. Arda Güler, the youngster. And that's actually his first Champions League goal of the season for Arda Güler. And no better time to come up with it than when Real Madrid need it most. And of course, I mean, never rule Real Madrid out in this competition. Rice. Gabriel back to Saliba. Back to Gabriel as Sporting on the press with Trincao. Nicely worked out there by Arsenal to Zubamendi. Nice Saliba. We expect Arsenal to control the game, to dominate possession, create the majority of the chances, but I think Sporting just need to go off kind of the blueprint of Bournemouth a little bit from the weekend and previous games that Arsenal have failed to pick up victory in recent games, and go with a similar technique. Not be afraid to press Arsenal, to force them back a little bit, and also do it in the right moments, not be overly aggressive and get yourself caught out. It's about finding that balance for Sporting tonight. Remember, they need to win by at least 2 goals if they're going to progress in the 90 minutes. They only need a 1-goal win to take it to extra time. That's nicely worked out. A bit of trouble there by Arsenal. Mosquera down the right hand side with space. Down the line to Madueke. Cuts back onto his left, outside to his right, back to Mosquera. Arsenal arriving into the final third. Again, Sporting bodies in the way. Nice ball by Rice to Eze. Pressured and pressed. Barry Eze, but he's done well to find a little bit of a gap and finds Madueke. Back to Nkapie. Shot blocked on the edge of the area. Back to Rice. Madueke and Eze trying to use skill there, as ultimately broken apart. And then one back right away by Declan Rice. Nkapie between the lines. Still on it goes. Martinelli. Stolen away from him at the last second for a corner. And Quaresma there with a bit of defending. Needed to take action. Lovely touch by Piero Nkapie. Rounds his man. Finds Martinelli on the left. And Eduardo Quaresma with the last ditch challenge to block out. So we see here, the other side, Max Araujo was beaten by a lovely little bit of skill there, Bereza. As Arsenal have their first corner of the game. Left hand side, Rice to take. Right footed, it's high to the back post, and Zubamendi was the target. Too high for the Spaniard. Goal kick it will be. Well, you kind of have seen familiar fracturings in the Arsenal fan base over the last few days, and a lot of people have been talking about, is their season unravelling in front of their eyes, really? And that home defeat to Bournemouth, only their second home league defeat of the season, is a real kind of body blow for Arsenal, and certainly reignited Man City's hopes of being in the title race. Something Arsenal really didn't need at this point after they've dominated the Premier League all season and looked quite clearly the best team, but we know what City can do at the business end. And we know what Arsenal are like usually at the business end of seasons. They've all still got it to prove between now and the end of May. And where will they be in a month and 9 days' time on the Premier League final day? Will they be crowned champions? Will they be second again? Could they possibly be in a Champions League final the week after? Most fans hoping that they're crowned champions, and of course are in a Champions League final for the first time since 2005. That's still a long way off. Win tonight, and then of course beat Atletico in the semis. Sporting just wrestled a little bit of possession back here. Settle the game down. It's gone Salves. Back to Ignacio. Diomande. Nicely worked out to the right hand side, but that one from Quaresma a little bit heavy. Straight out of play for an Arsenal throw. They can't afford to do that a lot at all, really. Sporting all night. When they're on the ball, they need to be sharp, need to be precise. Can't allow cheap giveaways to Arsenal. They will punish it. Another goal in Munich to tell you about. Real Madrid took the lead on the night, which tied things up on aggregate just after a minute through Arda Güler. But just 5 minutes after that, in the 6th minute, it is now level on the night, which means Bayern are back in front on aggregate 3-2. And the goal scorer there, Alexander Pavlovic, with the Bayern Munich leveller on the night. 1-1 on the night, 3-2 to Bayern Munich on aggregate. Right, back here as Araujo takes this Sporting throw high up the field. Ignacio working between the lines, finds Schulmand. Lays it off to Gonçalves. Gonçalves dribbling into the area. Run into Zubamendi, and then Saliba in the way. Wins it back. As they hook it long, Arsenal. Gyökeres with the hold up, but that's cut out well. Picked up by Ignacio. Morita. Quaresma. Nice little combinations between the lines. Schulmand. Lovely evasion there by Suarez. Excuse me. Back to Schulmand. Shown some decent signs on the ball so far, Sporting. Neither side have really threatened goal too much. Arsenal with the only shot of the game so far. Long switch ball here by Sporting. Max Araujo slips but still gets there ahead of Mosquera. And then Mosquera on the cover closes that door quite forcefully. And now Madueke charging down the right-hand side for Arsenal. Should have kept running. Just kind of stalled a little bit. The ball a bit heavy to Zubimendi. Just about ekes it out to Rice. Rice with a bit of space will shoot. Closed down well on the edge of the area. And that rebound finds the way of Luis Suarez. There's Morita. And Trincao out wide it goes. Done well so far in the last few minutes, Sporting. Showing that Arsenal aren't going to roll them over. And of course they made it a good fight of it in Lisbon last week. They actually played a really strong game and probably deserved to come away with at least a draw in that game. They dominated Arsenal in that second half. In terms of their opportunities they created, Arsenal again wasteful in front of goal until that late winner from Kai Havertz. Here is Katamo breaking his way past Nkapie. Katamo to the byline and just run out of room there. Bit of indecision from Katamo. And he's gone down here as Jenny Katamo. See it again. Little collision with Nkapie. He was caught on the left ankle. It's not enough for a penalty, but yeah, a little kick to his ankle, but not much in it. Yeah, not much in that. I mean, you can see the pain. Although VAR had a quick look, checked and cleared the situation. And Morten Hjulman, sorry, is over to have a look at his player at the moment, just to have a chat. But I mean, the check is complete. I don't know why Jenny Katamo's still down. You're not going to get a penalty for that. Although the Champions League, you never know, but surely not. Thank everybody in the chat for Jordan, Jason, Ollie, Jesus for life. Fair enough. Jesus for life it would be, but I said Jesus. I can see Sporting make a 2-0 comeback. To be honest, it just doesn't sit right with knowing that Arsenal are 1 up in the draw. Well, yeah, I mean, we saw PSG manage a lead going away to Anfield last week. But a very different prospect coming home with a lead. But it can certainly go in Arsenal's favour. That kind of, they only need a draw tonight as well, which you would back them to get. But as Katamo was being checked up on and is off the field after receiving that treatment. So Sporting at the moment down to 10. Andy says, hi man, pleased to join you this evening. Gonna seem not as strong as they have been next few games for them as a test. 100%. As I said, they've still got it all to prove, Arsenal, in getting over the line in big games and in big competitions. And again, they've got their stretch between now and the end of the season where they've got League and Champions League, and tonight's a huge night. And, couldn't hold it up there. Gonçalves straight out of play for an Arsenal throw. I mean, Arsenal, if they were to go out tonight, of course it would be 6 league games to win the title, starting with City at the weekend. Of course, Man City have a free week because they're not in the Champions League at this stage, so City have had all week to prepare for that game on Sunday. And then Arsenal have Newcastle, Fulham, West Ham, Burnley and Crystal Palace. A couple of London derbies in there for Arsenal. I have to say, their most difficult games, I think, Arsenal, are home games. Past that City game, I think Newcastle will be a difficult one. Fulham have looked good, but I think Arsenal, if they just keep their heads, I mean, it's easy to say, but keep their heads, they should be okay. You never know. We've seen strange things happen before. And they've Crystal Palace away on the final day, which is not 100% what you want. of course, if they were to win the title before the final day, they would get the trophy in their final home game, which will be Burnley at home on the 17th of May, if they were to be mathematically champions by that point. Oh, Gabriel gives it back to his keeper, and Raya just about gets rid as he was under major pressure. And that's nicely cut out well by Max Araujo. Hjulmand evading pressure and charging up the left here. Morten Hjulmand, and feeds it in behind for Luis Suarez. Suarez across. Just dragged it well away from goal, and I think the flag was up anyway against Suarez. Yeah, just a little early, but a half-yard offside there. We'll have to talk about Luis Suarez. The Colombian, 28 years old. He scored 24 goals in the league this season, 31 in total for Sporting this campaign. And 5 Champions League goals on top of that. Scored and assisted in their round of 16 5-0 victory over Bodo Glimt in the second leg. Scored a penalty, of course, and that game went to extra time. They were actually 3-0 down, remember, from the first leg, and that one came back to get the 3-3, tick to extra time, and then scored 2 goals in extra time. So they know the way to find a way back from first leg deficits, much bigger than 1-0. But a much tougher opponent in Arsenal tonight, although here's Hjulmand. Trincao in the half space. Trincao with an effort. Off targets, but again, some pressure from Sporting just starting to appear, and Arsenal not really in firm control of this. A little bit sloppy from William Saliba. It's a little bit too excited. Hjulmand there to intercept, and then finds Trincao. He's got 3 around him and still finds the little gap to get the shot off. Works the angle, and then the shot is directed well wide, but ultimately, you gotta say, Arsenal haven't really bossed the game probably since the first 5 minutes, where they were in control and had that corner and had that opportunity. Well, they've stolen it away here. Manueki to Gyökeres, who fires over the crossbar. Of course, Victor Gyökeres, as we see here, this shot again from Gyökeres, gets it onto his right foot, edge of the area, just kind of scoops it well over the crossbar. Just doesn't get the right setup for it, really. I think it was just rising and he was leaning back and just didn't set himself well enough there for the shot in that sort of position. Of course, scored the equalising penalty against Bournemouth on Saturday, did Victor Gyökeres. Actually scored in each of his last 2 games for Arsenal. And of course, the game against Southampton in the FA Cup, and then of course that Bournemouth defeat at the weekend. Of course, on a hot streak really for club and country. Victor Gyökeres scored 6 goals in his last 5 games for club and country, including 4 of those goals, of course, coming for Sweden and getting them to the World Cup. Here is Bereza. Out wide. Ball swung in by Nkapie. Headed away in there. As Max Araujo intercepts, and Luis Suarez looking to switch it here, but again, Nkapie does well to win it back. Better pressure from Arsenal. 20 minutes gone, still goalless here on the night. 1-0 to the Gunners on aggregates. So, albeit they haven't been in full control of this game really so far, boss the attacking efforts. As I said, a draw is all Arsenal really need tonight. And they've won a free kick there as Madueke was a bit cynically brought down there by Pedro Gonçalves. I can pronounce it right. As the referee just informing Declan Rice of the situation. Good options to hit here for Declan Rice. Of course, the two centre-backs, Gyökeres, of course, will be very much in the mix for this situation. Rice goes short to Eza, who was trying to do the blocking. And ultimately, here comes Sporting on the breakaway. As that's a strong challenge by Martinelli, who was tracking back. A fair one, said the referee. Sporting were away there. And that's going to be a free kick. A bit too much there from Mosquera on Inacio. See it again here. Arsenal get too excited as they just blocked with a shot and then they're away. Sporting a little bit more pace there. That could have been a huge chance. Massive opportunity it could have been there for Katamo. He ultimately was eased off the ball by Gabriel Martinelli. Tracking back from a attacking position. I think Arsenal don't need to overcommit tonight. They said the draw is enough, albeit they want to win the game, as you want to win any game. But as I said, all that matters tonight is to get over the line, and whichever which way they do it, it's about getting over the line and getting the job done. And Zubimendi wins a free kick. He was brought down by Gonçalves. He's just stretching for the ball there, Pedro Gonçalves, and Zubimendi got there first. Declan Rice in a bit of pain here, just holding his lower back at the minute. Doesn't seem fully comfortable there, the Arsenal skipper. He's leaned into a little bit there by Hjulmand a little earlier. Giving Declan Rice a little bit of pain at the minute. Another Arsenal free kick. Good challenge there by Max Araujo, but he couldn't keep the ball in play. Keeping themselves certainly in the game and competitive, Sporting, just at the moment it's tough for them to garner much momentum. Madueke, after the hold up of Gyökeres, went down and has been given the free kick. Referee Francois Letessier says it was a foul. As we see it again, Morita just, yeah, it's definitely a foul. Yeah. Hadamasa Morita is the one that committed the foul, and he just hung his left leg out there for Madueke to go over. And it is a free kick to Arsenal. There's some sloppy set pieces given away here by Sporting. Need to be careful. Arsenal, one of the best set piece teams in Europe. You can't be giving them free opportunities in decent positions like this when Declan Rice has got the quality of delivery that he does. Noni Madueke looks to be the one over it here, which is interesting. So it is Madueke to deliver, unless they might go short here. Madueke will deliver, and too close to Rui Silva in the Sporting goal. He hasn't been called into action at all so far tonight. Neither side have had a shot on target after 25 minutes. 4 shots for Arsenal, none on target. 1 shot for Sporting, also that wasn't on target. But the goalkeeper really been called into question so far. I've got to say the difference between Arsenal in Europe and in the Premier League is, in terms of their ratio of goals, 20 of their 27 goals they've scored in Champions League this season have come from open play. Only 5 set-piece goals and 2 penalties. Compare that to the Premier League, where 19 of their 62 goals have come from set-pieces. Comparatively, almost double in the same ratio. 4 penalties, 4 own goals. Only 35 of their 62 in the league have come from open play. That's nicely done there by Max Araujo. Mosquera with the block, but Sporting with their first corner of the game. Again, Max Araujo and Pedro Gonçalves. It's a threat down that left-hand side. It's an opportunity here from a set piece to give Sporting a chance. Maybe beat Arsenal at their own game, usually. Their own game anyway. Gonçalves will take. Right-footed. Swung to the front post, flicked on. Still in the mix as Morita heads across. Back down by Hjulmand, and Suarez was in the mix, but scrambled away by Gabriel, who cleared his lines as soon as he got sight of the ball, but only as far as halfway up the Arsenal half. Well, Arsenal remain unbeaten against Sporting in European competitions. Played them 8 times, won 4 and drawn 4. And any of that, a win or a draw, would be enough for them to go through. The Gunners, however, though, are the team the Portuguese side have faced the most often in Europe without ever winning, which is a record that Sporting, I'm sure, will be very desperate to end this evening, no matter how tough it can be. That was nicely done by Eza, who was under pressure. Finds Mosquera. Back inside to bury Eza. Gonçalves was on the scene, but Rice gets to the ball. Right, Nkapie. Rice back to Zubimendi. Inside to Martinelli, who comes central. Long to Saliba. Feeds it down the line for Mosquera. Eza back to Saliba again. Arsenal just probing their way around Sporting at the minute, waiting for the right option to open up. Nkapie. Back to Rice. Seems to be very around Sporting rather than through them at the minute from Arsenal. That's a lovely ball though. And Eza, and a drop for Gyökeres, who just couldn't get enough contact. Well, just as I said, they were popping it from left to right, Arsenal. A penetrating through ball by Eza. Found the run of Zubimendi. His little flick found its way towards Gyökeres, who couldn't find contact. But Martinelli tried his deft cross. That's put behind by Catalmo for an Arsenal corner. You see this again. Nice turn by Eza. Good run by Zubimendi. And then the little flick just comes through a few in Sporting colours. Finds Victor Gyökeres. He was just beaten to it by Ignacio. He got a crucial block. And another Arsenal corner. On the left-hand side, Declan Rice will take. There's some objects being thrown from the away fans there, which is not what you like to see at all. Of course. Rice to deliver. Right-footed. Swung deep again. Zubimendi gets contact, and comfortably for Rui Silva to retrieve. Again, they tried that earlier on, Arsenal. A back post delivery to Zubimendi. It was overhit the first time, and he got it right that time, Declan Rice. Just not enough power on the header from Martin Zubimendi to really test the Sporting goalkeeper. As Morita plays a lovely through ball here to Trincao. Out to the right hand side for Catamo. Into Francisco Trincao. Space here for Sporting as Suarez. Suarez with the efforts. Over the crossbar. Well off target. Whether the flag was up or anyway there against Sporting, but showing some threat. Just need to be a little bit more dangerous in the final third when they get there. Rice does really well under pressure again. Sporting try to press, but they bypass that, Arsenal. Eza's ball nipped in by Madueke to win it back after it was cut out well by Araujo. Zubimendi. Now Martinelli. Up the tempo all of a sudden, Arsenal. Oh, miscue there from Nkapie though. And that allows Sporting to receive and win it back confidently. Beautiful touch there by Trincao. And Gonçalves as well battling. Hillman picks up. Yeah, much better there from Sporting. We'll start up with that miscued pass by Piero and Capier. Arsenal were in rhythm there on the move, and just the miscued pass. That attacking phase down. Catamo, nice play to Trincao. Gonçalves looking to swing it round the corner. Max Araujo made the run. Mosquera muscling him well and strongly enough, and in the end it goes behind for a goal kick. As I say, that threat's there. They've got the quality further forward. Sporting to threaten Arsenal. As I said, they need to be clinical and they need to be confident. Let's tell you about another goal in Munich. It's all happening. It's similar to our game last night, where all the goals came in the other game. We were treated to very little in the first half of our other fixture yesterday. Well, I said he'd scored his first Champions League goal of the season tonight, Arda Güler. Well, it's 2 in the space of 29 minutes, because Real Madrid are back in front on the night, and it makes it 3-3 on aggregate. So another Champions League fight back from Real Madrid is very much on in the German city of Munich. And at the Allianz Arena, it is Bayern Munich 1, Real Madrid 2 on the night. 3-3 on aggregate. Right, free kick here to Sporting while we were telling you about that Real Madrid game. Free kick on the left-hand side. Francisco Trincao looks to be the one to take it. He will swing it in with the left foot. Away by Rice at the front post. And a battle there from Araujo to block the through ball from Arsenal as they tried the counter, but in the end goes out for a throw-in. I don't think he'd be too displeased. Rui Borges, the Sporting head coach, has won 52 of his 76 games in charge of Sporting since December of 2024. That's just 10 games in charge. There's only 2 defeats this calendar year have come in the Champions League against Bodo Glimt and Arsenal, both in first legs. Of course, they obviously came back against Bodo Glimt in the second leg of that round of 16 tie to progress. And at the moment, needing another comeback tonight to progress to the semi-finals after a first leg defeat. Well, Sporting haven't won away to an English team since March 2005, when they won 3-2 away at Middlesbrough in the UEFA Cup. They've drawn 5 and lost 5 of their last 10 trips, 4 of which have been in the Champions League, which they've drawn 2 and lost 2. And of course, let's not forget, Sporting did come to the Emirates 3 years ago and beat Arsenal on penalties. A 1-1 draw on the night after a 2-2 draw from the first leg in the Europa League round of 16. Sporting took it all the way, got all the way to penalties, and ended up winning on penalties. 5 penalties to 3. And Martinelli with a cross here. Mosquera was queuing up along with a couple of others for Arsenal as Sporting try and clear it away as Catamo gets contact and range on that. And David Raya is there to make sure that it goes there in the right direction up the field. There's a good challenge, but a good run, but a good challenge from Sporting to stop Aberieza. Looked threatening tonight at times, Aberieza between the lines. Real asset to Arsenal in those spaces. Can pick up passes, can pick out really good runs, and can charge with the ball himself at feet. Oh, a cheap giveaway there by Sporting. Gyökeres runs into a green shirt. Back it comes though to Martinelli. He will shoot. Closed down by Diamandi right in front of him. Yeah, they've given 1 or 2 glimmers, Sporting, of chances to Arsenal. unforced errors, but again, Arsenal just haven't been able to capitalise when they've got into those areas. A couple of times Gyökeres has got under the ball in the final third, and either bad touch, bad finish. It's let him down so far. Gonçalves. Hjulmand. Back to Diomande. To Quaresma. Swung out to the right side. Katamo. Trying the through ball with Gonçalves making the run, but Arsenal mop it up. And Raya finds Mosquera, who evades pressure and then gets the free kick from Max Araujo. Yeah, I think he's very lucky there, Christian Mosquera, to get a free kick. Wasn't a foul by Max Araujo, I gotta say. And Capier to Martinelli. Gonna swing it in, but Rice was the target. Again, Sporting in their own area. Able to see it away from danger. Well, 8 minutes of the first half to go at the Emirates. Still goalless on the night. Arsenal, of course, have that 1-goal aggregate lead. Which at the moment, this current scoreline would send Arsenal through to the Champions League semi-finals to face Atletico Madrid. Through ball there, a little bit loose from Luis Suarez, trying to find Max Araujo. Usually should be the other way around, but in the end, Arsenal do retrieve. Mosquera. Madueke. There's it. Back to Madueke. Well, Mikel Arteta, I don't think will be too displeased with this first half either. I would suspect both managers will be pretty okay about the first half so far. I think Rui Borges, of course, will be very pleased that his side haven't conceded and gone further behind aggregate-wise. But I think Mikel Arteta will be a little bit, maybe just a sneaking suspicion that maybe they just need to create a little bit more, have a bit more goal threat against Sporting at the moment. They're just struggling to, again, break them down, get shots on target. It's been a similar problem that Arsenal have faced over the last couple of games. Well, that's a lovely run here from Nkapie, who did fire it across, but too close to Rui Silva. He was there to take the sting out of the situation. It was actually Zubimendi, apologies, with the cross. Rui Silva, confident in that situation. Difficult angle for Zubimendi, right on the byline. But as it was said, I think Mikel Arteta will be a little bit, just a sneaking suspicion that they could have done better in front of goal. A little bit more cutting edge from Arsenal. Certainly you don't want the energy that's been in this stadium, the atmosphere that's being created, just to kind of evaporate a little bit, and Sporting to kind of feed off the back of that. Remember, albeit they lead Arsenal, but it's only a 1-goal lead. That can be eradicated in a split second. All it takes is one mistake, one chance for Sporting. Oh, a mistake just comes here. Gonçalves makes a mess of it. Well, David Raya apologises to his team, but he was very lucky that Sporting couldn't capitalise there. Again, just went short and gave it away. Pedro Gonçalves measured his press well, but just off balance as he tried to get the ball into the area as Luis Suarez was pressing too. And in the end, you we see it here, Raya just trying to force it into Saliba. A poor ball. Really poor ball. He gets very lucky. David Raya, who's been very talked up by the Arsenal fans, who haven't been happy with Kepa in a few recent performances either, with his introduction to the team in a couple of cup games. But David Raya could have been the villain there all of a sudden. Got away with it. But that's what I mean. It only takes one moment, one mistake, one individual error, and Arsenal can be pegged back here by Sporting. Madueke's delivery from the corner, punched away by Silva. Back into the mix though by Eza, but again cleared long. And a bouncing ball that might fall the way of the visitors here. Katamu wrestling for it and battling. Done really well until he run into William Saliba. And the referee is going to pull it back for a foul by Saliba. Took him a second to figure it out there, the referee, but Katamu worked so hard, all on his own there, and did really, really well. And in the end, wins the free kick. Just caught in the face by Saliba. Accidental, of course, but foul given. Another goal to tell you about in Munich. It's all happening there. I mean, maybe we picked the wrong game. It is 2-2 now on the night, so it is back and forth between those two sides. All the goals they're stealing there in Germany. And Harry Kane has that second goal for Bayern Munich. So it is, again, Bayern in front on aggregate. Level on the night, 2-2. 4-3 to Munich to Bayern, sorry, on aggregates. Remember, Bayern Munich's situation similar to Arsenal's. They lead by a goal from the first leg. Oh, that's a lovely ball over the top. Chance here. Trincao runs into problems. Nicely fed to Max Araujo, though. Araujo clips to the back post. Chance! Oh! It's off the post. I think it is a Quaresma. Or is it Katamu at the back post for Sporting there? It's Max Araujo, who does really well. He's got no way to go through, but he just clips one to the back post. And the late run from Gini Katamu caught it so well, and it just comes off the post. Well, that is a huge chance for Sporting out of nowhere. Arsenal again riding their luck a little bit. The woodwork has denied them. And Sporting very close to tying this one up on the aggregate score. But it remains goalless. But Sporting with a bit of pressure that's caused a bit of nervousness around the Emirates. Hjulmand. Gonçalves. Trincao under pressure. One back by Zubimendi. Now Martinelli trying to stride through, closed out. As they're popping it around nicely now, Sporting. Morita out to Katamu. Down the line. Gini Katamu. Back it goes, as Sporting seem to be the team that have got the momentum in the last few minutes of this first half, sorry. A bit of head tennis, and the Arsenal clearance goes out for a Sporting throw. Another goal in Munich. It is, as I say, all happening. It is like a tennis match in that one. It's back and forth, and again there's been another goal, and it is Real Madrid who are back in front again. The third time tonight they've taken the lead on the night to tie it up on aggregate. It is 3-2 to Real Madrid. Kylian Mbappe with the goal. And it has been a 5-goal first half. And it's 4-4 on aggregate. A true European classic there in Munich. It is 3-2 to Real Madrid as it stands. Hjulmand. Morita on the turn, nicely done by Gonçalves, but he was dispossessed. Madueke holding onto the ball strongly against the challenge of Trincao. As Mosquera going to get a free kick. Trincao a little bit too overzealous that time, but they could be much more pleased now. Rui Borges with his side's performance, certainly the last 5 minutes. They've given Arsenal a bit of a scare here towards the end of the first half, of which we will have just one added minute. And I think Arsenal will be pretty pleased to go in at half-time 0-0, considering the two big chances they've given up to Sporting in the dying embers of this first period. A mistake by Rea that wasn't punished, and that huge opportunity for Gini Katamu that hit the post. Sometimes you need a bit of luck like that, and Arsenal have had to ride that luck a little bit in this first half. As told to shoot by the crowd, was closed down. He will shoot then, as he turned back onto his left foot and shot over the crossbar. Nice idea. Just Couldn't keep the shot down. Really well done though, Eza, to get himself into a shooting position. But ultimately when he did hit the shots, off target. As the half-time whistle goes then at the Emirates, a first half where, again, no goals, but Sporting have come the closest to opening the scoring. Jenny Catalmo's effort that hit the woodwork is as close as either side have come to finding the nets. Sporting ended the half strongly, but Arsenal will be pleased that their 1-goal aggregate lead is still intact. Half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Sporting 0, Arsenal 1-0 on aggregates. Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Champions League Live. Half-time at the Emirates. It's Arsenal 0, Sporting 0 on the night. Arsenal leading by a goal to 0 on aggregates. Elsewhere, it's all happening in Munich between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. It is 3-2 to Real Madrid at half-time. An incredible first half. 5 goals from the first 45 minutes of that one. After they shared 3 goals in the first leg last week. Real Madrid beaten 2-1 by Bayern Munich. So as it stands, it's 4-4 on aggregates. And a reminder that Bayern Munich only need a draw out of tonight's game to progress. Same for Arsenal, with of course both sides having a 1-goal aggregate advantage coming into tonight's games. At the moment, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid will be going to extra time as it stands, but here at the Emirates, it will be Arsenal that will be squeezing their way through, but not without a bit of luck on their side. So far, Sporting have hit the woodwork in the first half, and a huge opportunity for the visitors to take the lead and eradicate that Arsenal aggregate advantage. But so far, Arsenal are hanging on in there at the moment. And I have to say, it's a first half that's very similar to Arsenal's recent performances in the fact that they haven't really created too much. They've not been dominated, but they also have had a lot of possession without much kind of intent, much threat, much pressure in the final third. And I think as it comes back to Rui Silva, the Sporting goalkeeper, hasn't really been tested in this first half at all. And, you know, albeit, as I say, you have to caveat by the fact that Arsenal don't need to win tonight. And it's easy to say that, but sometimes when you don't need to go out and win the game, you can just step it off a little bit. But that's what Arsenal can't afford to do. They need to come out in the second half and go for it. Try and win the game on the night. Now, that might come back and haunt you, but at least you have to try and put the game to bed, because the longer you leave it at 1-0, the more confidence the Sporting are going to have that they can get one chance, and especially after they've hit the post in the first half, that will give them a huge amount of belief that they're still very much in this game, and one little, I mean, probably a half yard away from being 1-0 up on the night, Sporting. So I think they will be very pleased with that first half and the way that it went, that Arsenal really didn't test them too much, and really it's looked much more like that the visitors would be scoring than Arsenal really at the minute. And that should be a concern for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, because we've seen it in previous games. We saw it in the Southampton game, we saw it in the game against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final, games where they've needed to have that intent in the final third, that to really attack the opponent. I just haven't done enough really in the final third to really deserve to find the net more than once. And even against Bournemouth at the weekend, it was a penalty. Now, of course, whatever you say about penalties, and they're valid goals, obviously, but what I mean is, from open play, Arsenal have looked really, really easy to stop at times in recent games, and in 3 different competitions against 3 different opponents they've struggled. And even in the reverse fixture against Sporting, albeit away from home and a tough place to go in Europe, anywhere is tough away in Europe to win, and they won, Arsenal, so give them their credit. But they needed a late winner, and albeit you look at those games and you think they've won one of them. It was a last minute winner from Kai Havertz in a game that Sporting probably should have won themselves, and probably could have been taking an advantage to the Emirates themselves. Now, of course, sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and they weren't clinical enough on the night to find the net. But you can back to it and go, Arsenal have been riding their luck a little bit. They rode their luck last week, and they were trying to ride their luck in previous games, and it hasn't worked out for them. We saw the Bournemouth result. Bournemouth gave them a really good game on Saturday and came away with a deserved victory, because they were fighting for it, Bournemouth. And Bournemouth, a very good side at the minute, in good form, beat Arsenal, and fairly so. And at the minute, you haven't seen much of a reaction from Arsenal from that game on Saturday to say, yeah, they're not letting this slip away, or the players are not allowing this to fall away from them. At the minute, you're kind of just seeing Arsenal sleepwalking again, into falling away again. And they just need to come out in the second half and just be a bit more raw in the final third. I mean, multiple times in this game, we've seen it. And I think the key moment was down the right-hand side. Madueke was charging away, and then when he got to about the middle of Sporting's half, he just said, I'm not going to run anymore, and just stopped and decided to square the ball across the midfield, and it came to nothing. But just why not keep running? Just keep going, get a corner, get something out of it to keep the pressure on. But they decide to get to a certain point. Arsenal say, we're going to enter the final third. Right, we'll just stop and pass it around a little bit for 20 seconds. You just need to be a little bit more aggressive. And when they get there, they have the quality to finish. We've seen that before, but at the minute they just kind of seem to rather go for control in the opposition half with possession rather than trying to score goals. And it is a baffling way to play football, in my opinion. It's really bizarre. But again, listen, it's not the end of the world. It's half-time, it's 0-0. They can come out in the second half and get a goal, Arsenal, from nowhere, and this game can be as good as done. But I just think in that first half, they didn't do enough to really say that they're in control of this fixture. And I think that's what they've needed in this second leg. With that one-goal lead, you need to have control. You need to manage the game. Yes, Sporting are going to have their chances. That's going to happen. But Arsenal need to make sure that they're the team in control, and it's not Sporting who are dictating play and dictating how this second leg goes, because that is how you get knocked out. And with that big chance that hit the woodwork, they've come very close at the Portuguese side to really putting Arsenal under pressure. Anyway, though, it is goalless at half-time, and Mikel Arteta won't be too displeased, but ultimately will be wanting more of his side. A reminder for you, the semi-finals of the Champions League will be taking place in less than 2 weeks' time. Now, the first leg of the first semi-final on the 20th and 29th of April, followed by the return legs the 5th and 6th of May. And a reminder for you that the draw is like this. The winner of tonight's game will play Atletico Madrid, and the winner of the other game in Munich this evening, between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, will play PSG in those semi-finals. Right, big second half to come at the Emirates, where it is Arsenal 0, Sporting 0. They're already out there. Away next. Welcome back to Champions League Live. Arsenal already out there on the pitch, and Sporting going to join them in a second. Reminder for you, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. 3 huge ties to come in the Champions League after tonight. The 2 semi-finals and of course the live final on the 30th of May, as well as the end of the Premier League season, the FA Cup semi-finals and final, and of course the end of the EFL Championship season. So lots to come between now and the end of the campaign in a month and a half's time. But a huge second half here at the Emirates, where Arsenal do still have that aggregate lead. But you have to say, they've rode their luck a little bit in the first half, and they will need to do more in the second if they are to comfortably progress to the semi-finals. At the moment, as it stands, a 0-0 draw would be enough to see Arsenal through. But you want to do it in honourable fashion, and especially at home, as here's a big chance. There's his cross, right down the throat of the goalkeeper, Rui Silva. That's what they need to do more of. Be a bit more direct, Arsenal. Be a bit more gung-ho about it when they get in and around the box. Just try things. The worst thing that can happen is they clear it away and it comes right back to you. Sometimes you feel like Arsenal just got the handbrake on and they just need to let it go a little bit at times. Yes, sometimes you might concede a goal off the back of it, but for the greater good sometimes that you end up going out all out attack just to try and win the game. Gyökeres there. Again, miscued that pass towards Madueke. Too far wide, that opportunity. And now, a bit of a move here for Sporting on the breakaway. Trincao flicks away from trouble. Lovely little bit of skill there as Caoimhan picks up. And now Diomande finds it through to Katamo. Suarez has gone wide. Suarez back to Katamo. Jenny Katamo finding the ball across the edge of the area. Caoimhan is there to retrieve from Arsenal's half clearance. Out wide it goes to Katamo again. Well, for Sporting, there's a major amount of positives, both in attack and in defence from that first half. That's a lovely little flick there by Trincao, beating the press of Nkapie. And now the ball comes to Araujo, who cuts onto his right foot and struck it well across goal. Raya was full stretch. Rui Borges believed that was a bigger chance and could have been in. Lovely play again by Sporting in and around the box, and Max Araujo with the right-footed effort just opened his body too much, curled it wide, but another massive chance for Sporting right away. And it all came from Caoimhan just getting there ahead of Nkapie. Just be a bit more incentivising in the final third. Just that extra little bit of energy from Sporting when they did get to the edge of the Arsenal box. Quaresma runs into a lot of space, and then Arsenal had it back and give it back. Crowd getting a little bit unsettled here at the Emirates. Just a little bit displeased. Their side's performance so far. Long ball up the field towards Gonçalves, who was beaten to it by Gabriel, who's come across with a bit of aggression. And as he was wrestled to the ground by Max Araujo, Arsenal will get a free kick. And that's the type of play that they want to see here. Gabriel coming across out of his position, not like a robot. He's coming out and showing a bit of intention, a bit of desperation to get to the ball, a bit of desire and a bit of fight. And he did well to win a free kick there for Arsenal, which Rice will take. Another Arsenal set piece. Taken short to Ebere Eze. Out wide to Madueke. Back to Eze. Eze from range. Struck it across goal and wide. Good effort from Ebere Eze, who is quite a distance out there. Good 25 yards out. Struck it with his right foot, just spun it wide of the left post. Good connection. Not on target in the end. Ebere Eze, I think, looked the most threatening Arsenal player so far tonight in attack at areas, and certainly a player they'll need to really lean on in this second half to that performance. As Ignacio goes long over the top of the first press, and then the flick ball in behind by Gonçalves, but no way through there for Sporting. As the crowd trying to give Arsenal that extra little bit from the stands, energise this team. Martinelli tiptoeing down the line. Still tiptoeing as he waited for the run of Nkapie on the underlap, and actually does really well. Nkapie with a little back heel. Martinelli was seen away from goal by Trincao. Will be a corner. A little bit better. A corner here to Arsenal on the left hand side. First corner of the second half, and the crowd giving it everything here to create as much noise as possible. to give their side as much of an advantage as they can. Rice to deliver. Right-footed, swung to the back post, and Rui Silva was well positioned to make ease of that catch. Already 6 minutes gone of the second half, and Sporting again with the best chance. Max Araujo's effort that was struck wide. Ebere Eze has had a chance too for Arsenal from further out, and also similarly off target, but both sides have a little bit more aggressive in the final third. This second period, of course, Sporting know it's, albeit be patient, they're still very much in the game at 0-0, but also want to show a bit of pressure to Arsenal, not allow Arsenal to have it all their own way, and have done well at finding that balance in the first half, having chances while not showing too much to Arsenal in the contrary. That's nicely done by Ebere Eze again. His movement has been really good so far. He wins Arsenal a throw in there. Charisma battling Eze. That's going to be an Arsenal throw, but as I say, Ebere Eze has been the best player. So it's just his movement between the lines that's sewn everything together for Arsenal. I think he's been involved in two of their best chances. His effort, and then the through ball to Zubamendi in the first half. Again, Arsenal outnumbered there as Sporting clear their lines. Sporting side who, first time I've watched them in the Champions League this season, 11 goals they conceded in the league phase. Of course, en route to this stage, they of course automatically qualified for the round of 16 with their league phase position, finishing 7th. The only side outside the top 3 European leagues to finish in the top 8. Of course, the Premier League had the majority of those positions, 5 of those 8 spots. 1 from Germany, 1 from Spain, and then of course Sporting the other side to make it through from the top 8, and then a defeat in Bodo in the first leg of their round of 16 to a 3-0 thrashing, followed up by a 5-0 win after extra time in the second leg. Albeit that was a home game, obviously, in the second leg. When we talk about Arsenal, when winning away from home in the first leg of a 2-legged knockout stage tie in the competition in Europe, Arsenal have progressed from 19 of their 20 occasions of that same kind of scenario. Their only elimination came against Olympiacos in the Europa League last 32 in the 2019-20 season. They won 1-0 away and lost 2-1 at home, and were eliminated on away goals when that was still a thing. Of course, that's no longer an issue now. That would have been a major benefit for Arsenal tonight. Away goals. And Capier's cross there was a poor clearance initially there by Morita. Picked up by Manueki on the right hand side, drifting past a man, trying to lift it into the area. Inacio got a half clearance. Now Martinelli over the crossbar. Better from the Gunners. And a response from the crowd with applause. See it here again, it's Manueki just driving at a man. That's what I mean. In the first half they just didn't do that enough, Arsenal. Be a bit more aggressive, try something. And as the ball drops, Martinelli's effort just goes over the crossbar, but it's creating chances like that can very much make the difference in these type of games. And all it took was Manueki just to take on his man. As Kai Havertz, the man of the moment last week, scoring the late winner in Lisbon, he's on for Victor Gyökeres. And could he do it again for Arsenal? Sporting a little loose with their play here. Madueke still gets back to the ball a little bit fortuitously. Madueke going all the way. Hits the side netting with his shots. All the run. In the end, when the finish did come around, it wasn't the most accurate from Noni Madueke. Did all the hard part. Better probably just striking back across goal rather than trying to go near post there, Madueke. It's tough as it is. But again, he's the main difference maker at the moment so far. 2 big runs from him. Individual moments for Arsenal there. Lacking the finish. Well, they're starting to create a little bit more, Arsenal. Looking a bit more threatening now. It's been lifted a little bit, Arsenal. Energy-wise, when it comes to their attack and play. Need to keep that hold of that and try and find that goal that will ease any lingering nerves that are inside this Emirates Stadium. Trincao was trying to make the run there. Well cut out by Zubamendi. Now Rice. Nkapie down the line. Headed away by Caoimhan. Picked up by Hjulmand. There's Katamo trying to take it in from centre. Eze shoved down by Hjulmand, and Rice does well. Reverses it into Zubamendi. Now Arsenal on the move. Mosquera out wide to Madueke on the touchline. Drifting infield, Noni Madueke, and as he tried to take on Max Araujo, run into the fullback. That's going to be a Sporting goal kick. Well, so far, Arsenal have looked more of a threat, but again, still no breakthrough. And as I said, the longer it stays 0-0 on the night, the more belief that the visitors Sporting will have that they can get back into this tie. So far, an unusually quiet start to the second half as well in Germany between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. 5 goals they shared between them in the first half, and so far the first 10 minutes of the second half without much attacking action to this point. They made a half-time sub, by the way, did Bayern. Stanisic replaced by Alphonso Davies. And remember, Bayern only need a draw tonight to progress, and it's 3-2 to Real at the moment. Here is Francisco Trincao. Nice ball, finding Morita, who tried to squeeze it through. Again, cut out well by Arsenal, but back it comes to Inacio. Trincao. Araujo has to work it back to Diomande. Hjulmand turns on to face the Arsenal players all behind the ball as it stands here. Inacio into Hjulmand, trying to look between the lines here. Sporting to create another good chance. Hjulmand, that's a lovely ball. Good touch there by Araujo, who made the move. There's Trincao trying to keep a hold of the possession, try to come central around the edge of the area, but run into trouble. And now Madueke trying to spring away. Morita trying to close it out, as is Gonçalves, who won it fairly, said the referee, and the ball's dropped here for Sporting. Here's Max Araujo. Lays it out wide to Hjulmand. Hjulmand back to Araujo, trying to lift it across. Blocked by Zubamendi. And I think the last touch came off the Sporting man. That will be a goal kick. And back to this little clash between Madueke and Gonçalves. See it here. Madueke. Yeah, they just kind of run into each other, really. Oh, you gotta say, I mean, Gonçalves got nowhere near the ball, and he just kind of run into Madueke. I mean, seemed pretty simply like a should have been a foul, but not given. Madueke's still down, holding his right knee, which is a worry for Arsenal. The assistant referee is just standing alongside Madueke, and the referee's certainly not Didn't seem interested there for a second, the referee, but he is now going to saunter over with the physios on treating to Noni Madueke. Francois Letessier, the referee, did not seem interested at all in Noni Madueke's issue here until the assistant just stepped onto the field and intervened. Seemed to be a very peculiar situation. Well, a reminder for you, a huge game in the Championship on Friday night for you. Blackburn Rovers taking on Coventry City. Coventry side who are on the verge of promotion back to the Premier League. 12 points clear of third place Millwall heading into that game on Friday night, and they can have a enjoyable trip to Ewood Park. A point would do the job, guaranteed, for Coventry City. Friday, 8 o'clock on LFS. As we watch movement from the Arsenal bench. So Kai Havertz did come on around about 5 minutes ago. Well, they're going to go to their bench again, Arsenal. Max Dowman is going to be joining the fray here for Arsenal. Whether it's for Noni Madueke, who's just slowly getting back to his feet. Trying to put pressure on that right leg. You see him again. Not in a good way. Hobbling here off the field. Noni Madueke. Could be the end of his night. And it will be the end of Noni Madueke's night. And Max Dowman is on for Arsenal. 16 years old. Remember, he made his Champions League debut at just 15. The youngest ever, so he knows this stage. A Sporting corner. After all of that drama. Gonçalves, right-footed delivery, flicked on and over the top by Morita. Yeah, good ball by Gonçalves, good run by Morita. Ultimately the header didn't find the threat that it needed to. And Arsenal there a little bit loose. Raya getting a bit excited there, playing the ball out and gave it away cheaply. A couple of occasions tonight Arsenal have looked a little bit nervy from those moments, and David Raya certainly not covering himself in glory on a couple of those occasions. 26.5 minutes to go, still goalless on the night. Arsenal lead by a goal to nil on aggregates. Sporting very much still in this game. Diomande, Inacio. A little bit heavy and off target there with Morita, who battles back well. Now Inacio. Max Dowman was the one challenged by Morita. They try the switch ball here. Suarez couldn't hold it up, but it's dropped into the path of Araujo. Now Morita again. Wide to Max Araujo. Hjulmand. Diomande. Inacio into Morita. Bit of space here for Morita. Trincao, little 1-2s here from Sporting. As they switch it out to the right. Katamo cuts onto his left. Runs into a few red shirts, but he's still got the ball, Katamo. Lays it back to Quaresma. And Diomande. Controlling the play here at the minute, Sporting. As Ignacio tries the ball over the top. Half cleared by Gabriel. Katamo's effort deflected. And a push there in the back. Referee says no foul, and Christian Mosquera with a push here. He's given a corner, the referee. To me, that looked like a very clear shove in the back. Oh, I think he's got away with one there, Christian Mosquera, massively. Because Max Araujo is at the back post, and if he doesn't get touched there, he might have had a chance to head that ball. But Christian Mosquera does make contact. I don't think they see it as enough contact. No, I think he's got away with that there massively. Really massively. Checked and cleared by the VAR. Well, I think that should have been at least another look at it for Francois Letessier. Nonetheless, though, we play on. Gonçalves with the corner. Sporting in momentum. Swung in with the right foot. Punched away by Raya. That's better from the Arsenal goalkeeper. A bit more dominance there in the air. As Araujo wins it back, shoots from range. A bobbly effort in the end, right down the throat of the Arsenal goalkeeper. But again, another little sign that Arsenal are far from confident in this game. Far from in control of it. Sporting have now had more shots than them in the second half. And there's still a lot to play in this second period. Zubimendi. Back to Gabriel. Swung the ball around the outside. Diamandi helped out there by Katamo, who clears, and again a first man onto it is Schulmand. He's played a really strong job in the midfield so far for Sporting. As Trincao evades pressure. Swings it back across midfield there. As Ignacio tried the ball up the field, but a little bit loose there from Sporting ultimately. Got a little bit too open. With a quarter of this second leg to go. As it stands, Arsenal will progress to the semi-finals if it stays as it is, or a similar level scoreline would see Arsenal through. A draw is enough for the Gunners. But Sporting have been pushing. That's a lovely ball again. Trincao lays it off to Katamo, who's got the beating of Martinelli here. Katamo still going as he swung it across, and David Raya from the narrow angle is there to gather, but again far from comfortable for Arsenal. Some threat certainly appearing from Sporting's point of view. They feel a little bit more free on the ball, just a little bit more composure with their play at the minute, Sporting. Arsenal playing with a little bit of nervousness, you can kind of see in the team. Well, Sporting have won only one of their last 8 away games in the Champions League, with that one victory coming against Athletic Club back in January. Here comes Martinelli, taken away by Quaresma. Well, the last away win in the knockout stages of the European Cup or Champions League, Sporting, was when it was called the European Cup, back in September 1970, when they won 4-0 against Floriana. But they've gone winless in 10 since then and lost 7 of those 10 games. So history doesn't bode well, but so far they fought well in this game, but without much in the end to show. No score as of yet between these two. Nkapie trying to take his time to angle the throw, and there was a foul throw anyway by Piero Nkapie, so all that build up for that, and Sporting will get the throw in. I mean, it's actually just quite embarrassing for a foul throw in this level of football. I mean, how can you fail to take a throw in correctly? Honestly, it's one of the easiest things to do. Okay, Havertz got a little bit annoyed of Diamandi, and then Kai Havertz decides, do you know what, I'll throw myself to the ground. That's going to be a pull on Luis Suarez. That's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card coming out here for the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta. You kind of just feel the frustration starting to boil over a little bit here. Havertz reacting to a bit of contact, Mikel Arteta a bit frustrated. It's feeling like Arsenal just need to resettle themselves. A double substitution coming from the visitors. Introduction of Giovanni Quenda and Daniel Braganza. Double substitution, seeing the replacements of Jenny Katamo and Pedro Gonçalves, we believe. The two that have come off here for Sporting. So some fresh attacking legs. The visitors to try and offer up some late action here at the Emirates. 20 minutes to go. Still 0-0 on the night. with an opportunity for Sporting to snatch something here if they hold it. Continue to hold Arsenal at bay. At the moment, the last 15 minutes, Sporting have had the only shot on target. 2 shots to Arsenal, to Sporting's 3 have Arsenal had, as they have their 3rd shot there. Abereyeze well off targets. As I said, Arsenal in their stickiest patch of the season, coming in at the point of the season when they really can't afford to be getting stuck. As I said, 3 defeats in 4, but they can really just re-energise themselves if they progress here to another semi-final in the Champions League, and a match-up against Atletico Madrid, who they will feel possibly over 2 legs they are able to beat. As Kai Havertz went over, wanting a foul, and it's actually been given against Kai Havertz. I don't know how that is a Sporting free kick, but the referee's given it in that direction. Gilman to Diamande to Quenda. His ball actually worked out fortuitously there and given away though by Morita. Stolen away by Zubamendi, and now Abereyeze, who just kind of get a little bit clogged up as he tried to charge forward there. And stolen away again by Sporting. Well, Arsenal's only defeat across their last 23 European home games came against PSG in last season's semi-final, where they lost 1-0. They've won 17 of those 23 home games. Well, the Gunners have kept a clean sheet in 16 of their last 22 European matches at the Emirates, conceding just 9 goals overall. So a real fortress the Emirates has become in the Champions League. But can Sporting come and put that to bed and change the narrative here late in the season? As a cross deflected, confidently gathered by David Raya. And a roar from the Arsenal crowd wanting their team to go quickly, but they again became unstuck. And Sporting win the ball back. It's almost like the roar from the Arsenal crowd scares the Arsenal players. Put away cheaply there. Quenda. Quaresma to Quenda again. He was brought down, and the referee's given it against Consewe Quenda. And he said it was a dive, but well, I don't actually know why the referee's given those 2 free kicks. Mikel Arteta could not believe it when Kai Havertz was given the foul against him there. And we see this one. I mean, I don't know how that's a foul. Francois Letessier, I don't know what he's seen on those 2 situations, but they're free kicks that have gone completely the wrong way. And it's not that he's biased against one team or the other, because he's given it against both teams. Very confusing decisions there from the referee. Havertz seemingly fouled. It was given against him. And then Quenda seemingly fouled. The free kick was given against him. Very strange. And Capier does well to win the corner there for Arsenal off Quaresma. Into the last quarter of an hour here at the Emirates in normal time. 15 minutes. If they hold on, Arsenal, they're through to the semi-finals. If they snatch a goal here, the Gunners, you'll really feel that they can surely make it known their place in the semis is confirmed. But a bit to go before that is the case. Race to deliver here for Arsenal. Huge opportunity this. Swung deep again, back post, headed across, and behind by Quaresma again. Will be another corner. Opposite side this time. But another Arsenal corner will come. This time Max Dowman, I think, is going to come across the take. So Dowman to take this Arsenal corner, right hand side. Everybody lining up at the back post for Arsenal as they all step into the 6-yard box. Ball is all the way through, and there's going to be a foul on Rui Silva nonetheless. The referee spotted a foul in there. See it again. I don't think there was. I think it's a little soft if that is a foul, but nonetheless, free kick was given, and Sporting going to go to their bench again. Going to see the end of the night of Morita, and he's going to be replaced by João Simoes, 19 years old, is going to be coming on, and Arsenal going to go to their bench in a few moments. Jesus getting himself ready. Here's Trincao between the lines. Quenda, Hjulmand. All they need is one big opportunity, Sporting, but again, a bit closed off. They try and progress and pulling a hold on Max Dowman. Referee said it was fair. A little bit peculiar, and Quenda maybe giving a bit of poetic justice that that's going to be an Arsenal throw. The referee, I think, has completely lost the plot here. I mean, how this is not a foul. He slapped in the back of the head Max Dowman and then held with his right arm and dragged down. I mean, I don't know how in any planet that is not a foul. Nonetheless, double Arsenal change incoming. Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Jesus going to be coming on. And Gabriel Martinelli is going to be one of those coming off, as well as Abere Eze. So Eze and Martinelli off, Trossard and Jesus on. Andrew Trossard right into the action as he finds Mosquera. Max Dowman making the run down the right. Dowman just about linking it up with Mosquera as he was brought down there. And that's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card as well, handed out to Max Araujo. Yeah, rightfully so. Here's a yellow card. And that's the first yellow card of any player. Mikel Arteta was given a yellow card, but it's the first player yellow card of the evening for either team. Opportunity here for Arsenal. 10.5 minutes to go of normal time. 0-0 on the night. 1-0 on aggregate to Arsenal. Still 3-2 to Real Madrid in Munich. Remember, as it stands, that would bring them to extra time because of the aggregate 4-4 score. Rice's delivery, spun all the way through, dropped into the mix, and no one could really get clean shot off there from Arsenal's point of view. Dowman tries to brick into the area, seen away from goal, and recycled back to Declan Rice. Zubamendi just strides onto this one, finds Nkapie, clips one forward. Headed away by Ignacio. And now Simoes. Give it away a little bit cheaply there. Again, it's all about just managing this game to a finish now, Arsenal. Don't give anything away to Sporting now. Trossard. Going to keep the pressure on there, and Max Araujo does really well. Did well facing his own goal, wins the goal kick. Rui Borges knows his side need to create one huge chance between now and the end of the 90 minutes. And if they can, find the net. Just one shot on target from both teams tonight. 20 attempts between the two of them, 13 for Arsenal, 7 for Sporting, but both sides have only found the target once. Arsenal's only shot on target coming in the 30th minute with Martin Zubamendi, and Sporting's only shot on target was from Max Araujo in the 67th minute from long range. Other than that, both sides have struggled in front of goal tonight. Very similarly to last week's game, where it was 0-0 going into the dying embers. Albeit both sides actually had quite a few shots on target last week, 9 between them, 4 for Arsenal, 5 for Sporting. From their 19 shots they both had in the game overall. But will there be a late change in the scoreline here at the Emirates, like there was in the first leg? Or will Arsenal hold on to progress to the semi-finals? Gabriel Cappier let it roll through. Not on the same page as Leandro Trossard. Goes through for a goal kick. Clock ticking away from Sporting here, but as I say, all they need is one chance. Trying to get out of their own box here, almost failing in doing so, as Araujo was slightly tugged by Havertz. On his own corner flag there, Max Araujo, as they're right penned in here. And they've won a corner out of that somehow, Arsenal. They've done really well there. Good press by Kai Havertz. He wins a corner out of that situation again. Causing their own problems a little bit there, Sporting. Playing themselves into trouble. And, yeah, it does come off Araujo last. Corner is the right decision. Max Darwin over it. Footed delivery, deep back post, lots queuing up, Trossard off the post, on target, and that would have been it. And he's hit the woodwork. Both sides have hit that side of the net tonight. Both have hit that left post. Sporting in the first half with Katamo, and now Arsenal with Leandro Trossard in the seconds. The woodwork denying both teams. They've come close. Saliba, nice ball into Mosquera. Has to step out of the box, finds Dauman wide. 4 in the middle for Arsenal. Dauman trying to eke a little space to cross, gives it back to Saliba, who does cross, and trying the switch ball, but switches it wide, too wide, and out for a Sporting throw-in. See this chance for Trossard, clean header, off the outside of the post and away, but huge chance that. Another opportunity gone a begging for both teams in front of goal. Jesus, great work in holding the ball up, swings it across. Hits the side netting from said cross, will be a goal kick. Couple of openings there for Arsenal late, as we're going to see a double substitution here for Sporting. Going to see the introduction of Rafael Nel and Georgios Vangidis. And Trincao and Quaresma making way. Oh, Rui Silva. They're playing it straight out as they give it away to Arsenal. All the pressure from Arsenal is Inacio with a challenge, Hillman with another one. Sporting about just coming away with the ball. Here's Quenda. Opportunities up the field. Quenda down the right hand side. Finds Vianides. Back to Quenda. Clip ball round the back. Headed away easily by Mosquera. Now Dauman. Played on to Kai Havertz. Just over 4 minutes of normal time to go. Still 0-0. Still 3-2 to Real Madrid in Munich. A late goal there would win it for either team in Munich. Trossard trying to nutmeg Diomande, but ultimately did nutmeg him, just didn't get any further with it. But again, Sporting have really struggled to get anywhere near Arsenal defensively here in the last 20 minutes, I would have to say. 10-15 minutes certainly. It's been all Arsenal pressure. That's exactly the opposite of what Sporting need right now. They need to be creating chances. They really desperately need to have one chance here. Have any chance of going through. Havertz. Arsenal just holding the ball up, being sensible with the play, not taking too many unnecessary risks, and trying to edge out every single second they can off the clock without very much danger in their way. Rice. Arsenal just minutes away from back-to-back Champions League semi-final appearances for the first time in their history. And a trip to Atletico Madrid in 2 weeks' time is what would await them if they were to hang on here at 0-0, or even try and better that with a winning scoreline. But a draw, as I told you, would be enough. Sporting need a goal. If they win by 1, Sporting win by 1, they take it to extra time. Win by 2 or more, they would go through automatically, but that will be a tough task right now. You need to create chances first before they can worry about scoring goals. They need to get up the field here. Ioannidis does well there, but ultimately Arsenal pick it back up again from the midfield. Trossard runs and can't get past Quenda there. Jesus gets on the end of this. Back to Zubamendi, wide it goes to Nkapie. Cross to Trossard. Rice to Jesus. Back to Declan Rice. Just popping the ball around really nicely here at the minute, Arsenal. No need to go all out for it now. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. Zubamendi into Jesus. Charging into the box. Jesus tried the cross, blocked. And now can a counter-attack emerge? Samoas finds it out to the left-hand side. Again, Sporting struggling to move up the field. Samoas again. Diomande. Everybody pushing up for Sporting now. Last minute of the 90. Ball comes out to Quanda. Quanda with a back post delivery. Cleared away by Mosquera. And Havertz finding Dalman, who tried to return the favour, but well cut out well by Ignacio. Nice Samoas. Out wide, Trincão's delivery. Quando's at the back post. He tries to get contact, he does, but heads it into the path of Trossard, who moves on the counter. 5 Sporting players in recovery, but Arsenal on the move. And Nkapie tried the cross. Well closed out by Ioannidis. And how long will be added on at the end of this 90? How long do Arsenal have to wait? It seems 4 minutes. That's all that separates Arsenal from another Champions League semi-final. 4 minutes. Ioannidis under pressure here. He tried to clear it up the field, but straight out of play for an Arsenal throw, which they're in no major hurry to take, as you would expect. As it stands, they're going to need another 30 minutes at least in Munich. But I can tell you there's been a red card, and Real Madrid are down to 10. Eduardo Camavinga sent off, second yellow card, and it's for time wasting, the second yellow card. Really, really sloppy from Eduardo Camavinga, and could that be the edge that Bayern Munich need? Remember, they only need a draw, Bayern, to progress. At the moment, it is still 3-2 to Real Madrid, which would send it to extra time. Arsenal corner into the second minute of 4 added minutes. You can see it dwindling away from Rui Borges' side as Declan Rice told to hurry it up a bit by the referee. Corner delivered deep to the back post and massively overhit by Declan Rice, which is extremely anticlimactic. You'd think he'd go short from the corner there, really. You just give Sporting the ball back. Just hold it, go short, keep the ball, run the clock down. A little bit naive that from Arsenal. They are desperate. This Arsenal fan base, this Arsenal group, of something in their direction, something in their way. Schulmans will launch one forward. Look at this for a ball. Beautiful ball. Dug it out completely. Max Araujo runs into Christian Mosquera, who can only see it out for a throw. 2 minutes, as there's a huge goal to tell you about in Munich. It is another goal for Bayern Munich. It looks like they're going to squeeze their way through. 3-3 on the night, 5-3, or 5-4, sorry, on aggregate. It would look like it will be for Bayern Munich, as time is definitely running away from Sporting here. 89th minute, Luis Diaz with seemingly the winning goal for Bayern Munich. Third on the night, 3-3 on the night, the score. 5-4 on aggregate for Bayern Munich. But will Sporting have their magic moment here, or will it be Arsenal's? One last free kick, it seems, to go the way of the visitors. As Ignacio there just fouled by Gabriel Jesus. Again, strange as to how that was a foul. It's the keeper, Rui Silva, kicks, and the opposition keeper, David Rea, comfortably gathers and now wants to send Trossard on a breakaway. Scrambling back towards his own goal, and he gives it away, Trossard. Arsenal just need to hold on to the ball there. It's just again naive. As Vianitas comes down the line, seen it a play by Nkapie. Seconds tick away. Arsenal are within touching distance, but Sporting, one last chance maybe. They've no choice now. Go direct. As Rui Borges is given a yellow card for stepping well out of his touch, or of his technical area, trying to get the ball. Long throw incoming, Kwanda to take. He's still out of his box here, Rui Borges. Long launch. Flicked on. Bit of chaos. Now it's for Samoas, who struck it wide. That was the chance. A whisker away from rescuing Sporting there, Samoas. That was their opportunity. And I think Rui Borges knows it, because there's the final whistle. Arsenal eke their way through to the semi-finals of the Champions League for the second successive season, for the very first time in their history. It wasn't pretty at times, but ultimately they got the job done, the Gunners, and they're through to face Atletico Madrid in the semi-finals. You have to say they did give themselves a late scare, Arsenal. They always seem to. They never make it easy for themselves. Sporting held their own and tried their ever hardest, but ultimately on the night it wasn't to be. Arsenal get the job done and look like, and now are confirmed, as they will face Atletico Madrid in the Champions League semi-finals. Elsewhere though, they're still playing in Munich. 2 minutes of the 4 added to go. Real Madrid down to 10 men. 3-3 on the night, 5-4 on aggregate to Bayern. This is as it stands in Munich. So Arsenal are through But will Bayern Munich join them in the Champions League semi-finals? On the opposite side of the draw, remember, a PSG awaits the winner of one of this game. Well, is Luis Diaz's winner equaliser on the night the tie winner? Mbappe swings into the area. 10-man Real Madrid trying their hardest, but Bayern trying to break away and would end this here if this goes in. It's a 4v2 for Bayern Munich. Ball trying to find Elise, and Diaz overhits it. 90 seconds to go there. Alvaro Arbeloa watches on as it looks like Real Madrid, the 15-time winners, will be eliminated at this stage. They've tried their hardest tonight. They've led for the majority of the night. 3 times they've led in this game, Real Madrid. Arda Güler with 2 goals, Kylian Mbappe with a 3rd, all coming in the first half. Alexander Pavlovic and Harry Kane scoring to level twice for Bayern in the first period. It was 3-2 going into the second half, and the only goal of the second period, Luis Diaz in the 89th minute, has seemingly scored the equaliser on the night that would be the aggregate winner in the tie as it stands. Seconds remain as 10-man Real Madrid look to try and rescue another goal and a 4th lead of the night. Ball swung in, headed away by Jonathan Tah. Bayern, all they need to do is hold it, as here is Luis Diaz taking his time on the ball, and now Bayern on the move. They get another, it would be put to bed. Here is Michael Olise, drifting, driving, and finding the nets. And there it is, all over. It's not enough to just draw the game for Bayern Munich. They have gone and won it from 3-2 down late, and that is certainly going to knock them through to the semi-finals and send Real Madrid packing. Bayern 4, Real Madrid 3, and Vincent Kompany looks, I mean, for a man who's just going to win a Champions League quarter-final, he looks as emotionless as possible. Vincent Kompany. Bayern Munich, without a doubt now, are going to the semi-finals. Real Madrid gave them heartbreak a few years ago, but Michael Olise with a cracking finish. That is the final whistle, and that is Real Madrid out and Bayern Munich through to the semi-finals. Incredible. 4-3 winners on the night with that late goal from Michael Olise. Right, confirmation then of the 2 semi-finals. There's a little bit of frustration boiling over there for Real Madrid. Confirmation then of the 2 semi-finals then. PSG against Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid against Arsenal. They will be the first legs to come in a few weeks' time. PSG will have the first leg at home, as will Atletico. Bayern will have the second leg at home, as will Arsenal in the semi-finals. That is the confirmation, as there's some red cards coming out there as well. I think Arda Güler has been given a red card for Real Madrid late. But those are the confirmation of our semi-finalists for 2026. One from each of the top countries in Europe. PSG of France, Bayern Munich of Germany, Atletico of Spain, and Arsenal of England, all represented. No Italian sides in the semi-finals this time round. And there you have it. So, those are the semi-finals, and they've to come in 2 weeks' time for you, just to confirm the semi-finals. The 28th and 29th of April for the first legs. That's less than 2 weeks away now. And the return legs the week after, the 5th and the 6th of May. All leading up to the final on Saturday, the 30th of May in Budapest. Right, so all the drama of the night came in that 7-goal thriller between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. 4-3 it finished on the night. Bayern Munich with those 2 late goals, securing their place in the semi-finals, and Arsenal being held to a 0-0 draw. Sporting ultimately trying their hardest to keep themselves in the game. In the end, couldn't find the crucial goal they needed to keep themselves in the tie, and ultimately finished 0-0 at the Emirates to knock out Sporting and to send Arsenal through. Quite ironic that Arsenal are so much about defending, and it is a 0-0 draw that sends them through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Anyway, they're there for only for the first time in their history in back-to-back seasons, Arsenal. And that will be the talk, that they are able to get over the line and get the job done. A semi-final in the Champions League awaits. A lot more for Arsenal to try and navigate with that huge game against City on Sunday. But for tonight, they can celebrate, because Arsenal, alongside PSG, Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich, are all into the Champions League semi-finals. Good night.